The one game that did stand out was Houston and Tampa Bay, back and forth the entire time. Baker Mayfield, big drive. CJ Stroud, big drive. They're going back and forth. And CJ Stroud ends the day, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he walks away with 6 seconds left, the game winner, to lead Houston to a 39-37 win. We're all just sitting back. I'm getting texts from people saying, CJ Stroud, wow, we were set to lead with Dolphins and Chiefs today, which we'll get to in a second. But the performance from Stroud is just, you don't see this from rookies ever. I'm thinking back to other rookie quarterbacks who have played on this level. Justin Herbert a few years ago was really, really good. We talked about, Ziggy brought up Russell Wilson and RG3 had great seasons 10 plus years ago. This is one of the better rookies that you've seen walk into the league and take it. But the one thing with CJ Stroud too is he's taking a team that everyone thought would be horrible. Most people thought it would be Houston and Chicago going back and forth for number 1 pick. We know Houston doesn't have that selection. But in terms of worst record in the league, people were expecting the Texans to suck. And what Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, Will Anderson Jr., Tank Dell, the rookie class that they have, I'm counting the coach as a rookie here because he is. It's just unbelievable stuff down in Houston. Ziggy, when you're watching that final drive, was that not unbelievable with 40 seconds left to go down, 1 timeout, 2 timeouts? Just crazy.
No, I mean, these are the kinds of comebacks that you don't expect. You expect guys like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to do. But certainly not a rookie quarterback who's never been, he's had some game-winning drives this season, but nothing quite like this. And the Texans weren't giving him a lot of support, right? Their leading rusher this game was Devin Singletary with 26 yards on 13 carries. Like, there was very little run game support. The receivers, obviously, Noah Brown and Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz have all looked good this season, but nobody really expected them to be stars coming into it, like you said. What CJ Stroud did isn't just the most impressive rookie quarterback performance of all time. I'll put it out there and say single game, it's that. It's one of the best performances by any quarterback in the regular season of all time. Just 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, big throw after big throw, with very little time in the pocket because the Bucs were able to get pressure. It's not like this was an easy situation for him to be in, and time again, he made the throw. So it's one of the most impressive quarterback performances I've ever seen, all things considered.
His performance, even before the game-winning touchdown drive, was flat out awesome.
Yeah.
I was totally sold on him before that. And that was just some extra icing on the cake. Like, wow.
Oh,
this guy's seriously the real deal.
We were talking before Tampa Bay scored to take the lead. We were saying we can't wait to lead with CJ Stroud. And when Tampa scored, I looked at Zach and said, damn it, we had our headline. It's just better when the team that you're talking about wins. And when he got the ball back, I'm looking right now in that last drive, 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line with 16 seconds left, no timeouts. And he rips that pass to Tank Dell.
No, that
and then rips another one.
The throw to Tank Dell before the touchdown was
picture perfect.
The best pass I've seen this season from any quarterback in the NFL. And it came from a rookie.
It was just crazy to think that, like you said, after they took the lead and then lost it, that it could get even better. This is one of those games that Texans fans throughout the rest of the year will go back and watch highlights of. Every now and then you have those games for the team you root for. And this is one of them where it's just back and forth the whole way. And Stroud comes up with that final drive, like in Houston, is the best thing they've had there for football in years.
He's just still the draft at number 2.
He might be, by the end of the season, he might be the best rookie quarterback in the past 10 or 15 years. Which is something to say considering some of the rookie quarterbacks that we've seen. It's just it was incredibly impressive what's going on down in Houston. And they're sitting at 4-4. When he plays like that, obviously when he plays like that, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But is CJ Stroud, I was saying to Zach, are you guys confident at this point that we're looking at a future superstar at this point?
Yeah, it sure looks like it.
Like he's getting close to where you're going to go into next year saying, yeah, this is one of the top 12 quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, he seems to have all the aspects, all the facets, everything that you look for in your wannabe franchise quarterback who can turn into a superstar. I think he has some of the best ball placement in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was curious what he was going to do this week, right? Because coming off last week, losing to Bryce Young and the Panthers, that was surely like the worst game of his career so far. You always want to see how guys handle that, right? The media was talking Bryce Young starting to establish himself. CJ Stroud hasn't looked so good the past couple games. And then he comes to Tampa Bay he hosts Tampa Bay and does this. I mean, when a guy can handle adversity like that, when he steps into a situation where it's a defensive-minded head coach, where there's not a lot of established pieces around him, he's immediately a leader, right? He's nominated captain. He makes everyone around him look great. I mean, you'd be foolish to not bet on this guy.
Oh, both him and Will Anderson were named captains, and there are guys that you can tell pretty quickly when people have it in the NFL. Some people are late bloomers, but once you can tell, you notice it. And CJ Stroud, time and time again this year, has looked like one of those guys. You know, Will Anderson has had plays where he's looked like he could be one of those guys. So they nailed the draft class, and it's an exciting time down in Houston, to say the least. Go get this guy a number one receiver. Go get him some more weapons. Tank Dell.
I mean, Tank Dell's awesome.
Tank Dell is awesome.
Tank Dell's really good.
But go get him some more weapons this offseason, and you could be flirting with something really special in Houston.
I mean, to credit him as well, Tampa Bay is not a team who can really score. And they scored in the high 30s themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I would have bet $1 million that if Tampa scored 37 points, they'd probably win the game in Houston. They blow them out, yeah. And you have a rookie quarterback who's able to do what he did and win the game.
Listen to these numbers from the Texans receivers. Noah Brown, 6 receptions, 153 yards, touchdown. Dalton Schultz, 10 receptions, 130 yards, touchdown. Tank Dell, 6 receptions, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, you don't open up box scores and see numbers like that. You don't see 3 guys with 100 yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, and let's not forget, right? These weren't like yards after the catch, right? On passes 10 or more yards downfield, right? 10 or more yards in the air. Stroud was 15 for 22, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 drops.
In the back right of the end zone was Tank Dell. That was the first Tank Dell touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Like the 35, 40-yard pass. That was a picture perfect. Exciting times for Houston. And just to be fair to Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield had a very gutsy performance as well.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, you can't just disregard. Tampa Bay played a really good football game. And if you're a Bucs fan, you have to walk away with a really sour taste in your mouth, letting this one slip away. But
the Falcons lost. The Saints haven't looked good.
Yeah.
They had to be thinking division. Now instead it's the Texans who are thinking division.
I was going to make a joke with about when Tank Dell scored with like 8 seconds left, and I saw your text in our chat. All right, we're opening up with Stroud. I was going to say, not so fast. We're opening up with Baker.
Yeah, he looked really good. And
after he wins the game with 8 seconds left.
The Buccaneers also against the Bills, they weren't great. But over the past 2 weeks, they've lost these games where you wish you could have taken one of them at least. And you're right, though, Ziggy. The division is very much still in play for Tampa Bay because that division stinks. New Orleans is starting to come on a bit, but I wouldn't give up. Even at 3-5, the Buccaneers are very much still alive. Yeah. And Houston, their eyes are on the playoffs now.
Well, one more thing about Stroud is I remember at least my main criticism when he was playing in the preseason and I guess early on, he seemed a little bit uncomfortable. The decisions were a little bit off, which was totally understandable. But now as we go forward, especially today, he's comfortable. He stands in the pocket strong. He knows what to do with the ball. He's all around awesome. He knows what he's doing.
We said since the preseason, he was the one rookie quarterback that we watched make steps every single week of the preseason. And we continued to say that during week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And now here we are, week 9, with his masterpiece of the season. And you just keep seeing him elevate his game, which normally rookies are fluctuating. Right now, he's early in the year, he was at an MVP level. And that was it today.
I was seeing tweets today. This guy's already a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Crazy. Well, with Kirk down, yeah. I mean, now he has a shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, right? Yeah.
If he's probably like 11 if Kirk was still playing.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought this at the start of the season, certainly, but I think the Texans going to Cincinnati might be the game of the week next week. That is how excited I am to see how he does.
Can you imagine if he went in and beat Burrow?
He might. It no longer sounds crazy.
I wouldn't sign up for that yet, but if he does.
Yeah, I was just talking today how the next week the Bengals will be my survivor pool pick.
Against Houston?
Against Houston. But I don't know about that anymore.